Hello. Okay, Kai's gonna be here as my emotional support, and I'm gonna record this the same way that I recorded the previous video. No cuts, no edits. Well, maybe a few cuts this time because I think last time I made too many pauses. Um, what I was gonna say is I was rewatching the previous video that I posted, and I think I made more sense than I thought I would. I was able to express what was in my mind better than I thought I could, and when I was rewatching it, I felt some kind of relief, like I could understand myself a little bit better. Maybe because it was like watching someone else talk about their things, and I stopped overthinking after. So I was like, let's do it again about other things that I usually overthink. Even though I'm not overthinking about those things right now, but I always go back to them because they're a big part of my life. So I have a few videos that I'm gonna record about just myself, and then maybe this is gonna be a good way to figure it out what kind of topics I like to talk about here, and I don't know, maybe just organize my thoughts, and it's okay if it's a little bit messy. So this video is gonna be about cultural overlap, and then I want to do the next videos about racial ambiguity, multiple languages, living outside of social media, and just overthinking for fun, because I don't think any of this is actually overthinking. And I'll probably forget to talk about a few things that I want to talk about. So then that last video is going to be like a conclusion of the series. Um, yeah, okay, so this one, cultural overlap. Maybe I should start with my own background and how I grew up. So I was born and raised in a small town, 10,000 people in the countryside of Brazil. And I went to high school in a nearby city, medium-sized city, and then I went to college in a bigger city, close to São Paulo. In that city, I think it had almost a million people living there. And then when I was a freshman in college, I got a chance to apply for an exchange program, and I was sent to Washington, Pennsylvania, which is a very tiny town, I think 12,000 people, and it's close to Pittsburgh, which is a medium city. And then I transferred. Oh my gosh, Kai. And then I transferred my college from Brazil to the United States completely after the exchange program, and I graduated in San Francisco. So I had this same experience of moving from a very tiny town to living in a medium city or close to a medium city, and then moving to college to a big city. And I feel like because I lived all of that in Brazil before I moved here, I was kind of prepared. It was kind of rehearsal in Brazil. And so when I was moving so much here, I didn't feel like it was scary, or I was never really nervous about the moving itself because I was so used to it. And I was counting before recording this video, and I have moved 17 times since I moved out of my parents' house, which is crazy. I thought it would be around 10. I guess I lost track after so many. So I was basically moving twice every year, and I think that moving was good and bad. I think it was good because he always kept things interesting, and I was able to live with people from so many places. I've lived with people from China, India, Turkey, Philippines, Thai, other states from Brazil, other states from the United States. And these two countries are so big sometimes when there's someone from another state, like they're from different country, because the cultural differences are so big. I was used to the chaos of moving and always having to figure it out where I'm gonna go and gather all my things and start over somewhere else with other people in another environment. So I think afterwards, when I got my dog and then I met my husband and I got married and we found a place together, I also allowed myself to just relax and stop chasing anything, because I always feel like I'm chasing something, either like a degree or a job or an adventure, whatever it is. And when I had this time to calm down after I graduated, I had my job, I had all my visa in place and everything, I felt a little bit lost. I didn't know where I belonged. And because of all the cultural differences that I've been experiencing living with different people in different places, in different cities, in different countries, when I stayed put in just one place for too long, it kind of felt like a different kind of chaos in my mind, because now the mess wasn't outside anymore, it was just in my mind. I really felt like I was not part of any culture, or any culture was part of me, because of the moving and never being in the same place for too long. And even in Brazil, of course, I lived there most of my life with my family. Even there, because I'm half Japanese and I was always in between the cultural differences, I feel like I've always been in this situation where the way I'm living wherever I am is a little bit different. And it's mostly fun. But when I had this moment of thinking and reflecting why I felt this way, I really thought, wow, maybe now, because I can finally just stay here, because this is exactly where I wanted to be, where I chose to live. And then I graduated. Anyway, I had everything. When I finally stopped chasing anything like that big, that felt so life changing, I was like, okay, now what? This is what I'm figuring it out right now. And that's why I was throwing myself into so many hobbies and different activities, just to try and figure it out what I want to do with the extra time that I have now, that I don't need to worry about always moving. And I think I'm on the other side of it. I'm not overthinking about any of that anymore. I feel like I processed everything already. And that's why I think I really want to talk about these things. I didn't have the chance to talk about any of this with anyone. It's such a personal experience. I don't know. I have talked about some of this with my friends and my husband and my family, but when I was rewatching the previous video that I made, watching myself physically express what I was thinking, it made more sense. Putting all my thoughts about this and the next videos, it's gonna be a good exercise, I guess. I think it's also going to be useful in the future when I'm overthinking about any of this. I can come back to the videos and see where I left off, like what were the last things that I was thinking about the topics, and hopefully will help me to stop overthinking again, because everything is fine. Sometimes I just get in my head. But yeah, so okay, this is it for this video. I'm gonna make the next one about racial ambiguity. Okay, bye.